After a great night of camping here at Pfeiffer Big Sur Campground, it was time for us to hit the road again. Our initial plan is to cycle with Seth, a guy we met last night while camping, but since he is traveling very light, he quickly leaves us on the 2.5 mile, 700-foot climb right out of the park. We never saw Seth again. For the next couple days, we continue cycling along the coast on Highway 1 through Big Sur, and around every curve and over every climb, we are greeted with some amazing views. We do not get very far because we end up stopping a lot to take in the beautiful scenery, but then again, what is the rush? We have all day. Eventually, we run into a family of 4 from Canada that we had heard about way back in Oregon. They are pretty amazing and are also on a 2-year bicycle trip throughout the world. I will leave a link to their YouTube channel below, so please go check them out. After leaving the long climbs, winding curves, and the sheer cliffs of Big Sur, the terrain becomes more open and flat. The traffic does seem to pick up, but all the drivers are very courteous and give us our space. It wasn't long before we reached the Piedras Blancas rookery located about 7 miles north of San Simeon off Highway 1. Nearly hunted to extinction during the 1700s, here you can view elephant seals lying on the beach, playing, fighting, or out swimming in the ocean. Continuing south, we leave Highway 1 and head inland towards Highway 101. This takes us from the coast where we discover the 1880 Union Hotel in Los Alamos. It is said that many famous celebrities have been here, and that music videos from Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, and Bon Jovi were also filmed here. When we arrived at Sycamore Canyon Campground, the ranger warned us that in the morning there would be a triathlon just outside of the park. Sure enough, in the morning, less than a mile south of the campground entrance, we arrived at the turnaround point of the bicycle portion of the triathlon. As we approached the cones, the volunteers just waved us through, and before we knew it, we were part of the race. The remainder of the day, we end up cycling through Malibu, past Santa Monica Pier, and through Venice Beach, which is something to experience. The bike path continues all the way down to Redondo Beach, and this is where we turn into the city and look for a place to stay. After a good night's rest in our budget hotel, we wake up early and try to beat the LA traffic. Lucky for us, it's Sunday morning and the traffic is very light at first. Our route initially has us going through residential neighborhoods, but eventually we end up cycling through an industrial area and what appears to be a railroad yard that comes to a dead end. However, since we are on bicycles, we're able to push our bikes around the barrier and continue down the road. As traffic begins to pick up, we're able to find the bike path and continue our way out of the greater LA area. And look at all the ships out there waiting to come into port. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I'm counting a couple dozen all the way down the coast here. Alright, so the bike path we're on enters Camp Pendleton, and since we don't have prior authorization, the alternative route is to get on Interstate 5. I guess a few years ago they changed their policy where I guess at one time you could just get on the bike path going through Pendleton with your driver's license, but now you got to go to the main gate, which is at the south end, and get a pre-authorized, and I'm not sure how long that lasts, but we're not going to go down there to come back up here to cycle. So the alternative is Interstate 5. I think we're on it for about 8-9 miles, and then we get off back on the roads again. So after leaving LA, we pushed ourselves hard to get to San Diego. We discovered that finding a hiker-biker campsite was nearly impossible in this part of California. So our goal was to get to San Diego, take a nice break before cycling to Tecate and crossing into Mexico. Stay tuned as we begin a new chapter in our Cycling of the Americas adventure. If you liked our video, please consider supporting our channel by rolling over that like button, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, And as always, feel free to share our videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.